Twist of Fate, Monday the 15th of January. Hashtag Thrill Series. Please kindly subscribe, like, comment and share. Ranbir telling Prachi that it is strange that they have to hide from everyone, though they love each other. Prachi says don't say anything, we don't love. Ranbir asks if you are sure. She says yes. He says if you have nothing in your heart and don't feel any feelings for me, then why don't you let me tie the lace? He asks why your heartbeat is increasing. Prachi asks him to move back from her. He asks if anything is happening to you. He keeps his hand on her shoulder and asks if she is feeling anything. Prachi says no. He gets closer to her and asks now. She says no. He holds her closer. Prachi feels and closes her eyes. She then realizes and moves away. Ranbir opens the door and tells the salesgirl that he is still trying the clothes. He closes the door and asks Prachi what has happened between them just now. Divya asks Mihika to try the dress. Mihika asks the salesgirl if she saw Ranbir. Salesgirl says he is in changing room. Mihika goes there. Akshay says where Ranbir could be. Salesgirl says he is in changing room. Akshay gets shocked and says Prachi is in the changing room. Abhay says that doesn't mean that they are together. Akshay says I shall be Prachi, as I get uncomfortable when Ranbir is near her. He goes. Ranbir asks Prachi to say. Prachi says she don't want to answer him. Ranbir says I want to know if you felt the same, which I had felt. He says if your answer is no, then I will understand that it is a lie. He says I was closer to you, I felt everything, I felt emotions in your eyes for me, I felt your breath, I heard your heartbeat, I felt your soul inside you. Prachi says stop it, this is not right. Ranbir asks why. Just because you are with Akshay and I am with Mihika. Prachi says no, we are separated. Ranbir says I don't believe that we are separated. He asks her to keep her hand on her heart and say that she has forgotten their love. Prachi reminisces their moments, K. Rabba Janda. Prachi says love is not everything in life, I have understood this with time, where there is no peace, there is no love. She says there is peace in true love, and says peace is needed else it is not love. Else there happens is misunderstanding, suffocation etc. She says when two people are in love, they shall feel peace, else insecurities increases and miscommunication happens. She says that's why I doubted on you and you have doubted me without any reason. Mihika asks Divya to wait till she tries the dress. Divya thinks she is frustrated, and tells that she can't do shop. Ranbir says he has doubted her seeing her and then he repented a lot, and apologized to her repeatedly. He says don't make me apologize much, that the mistake seems to be small. He says it is your habit to drag the thing, and says if the rubber is pulled then it breaks at some point. Mihika goes to the other changing room. Prachi asks Ranbir if he wants to say that this thing is happening due to me and says you are blaming me even now. Mihika hears Prachi and calls her name. She asks her to talk slowly and says I heard everything. She says your voice is coming here, and asks if she is talking on phone. Prachi says yes, and asks Ranbir to go from there. Ranbir asks Prachi to go. He refuses and says we shall fight. Prachi opens the door and finds Akshay coming. She tells Ranbir that Akshay is coming here, if he sees us together, then we'll have problem. Mihika comes out after trying the dress. Divya says it is nice. Akshay and Abhay says she is looking good. Mihika says I will show dress to Prachi. Akshay says Ranbir is inside. Divya asks Mihika and Akshay to bet. Akshay says Ranbir is inside and knocks on the door calling Ranbir. He breaks the door and sees Ranbir standing. Ranbir asks what happened. Prachi comes there and asks what happened. She asks why everyone is looking like this. Mihika says you was here. Prachi recalls climbing and jumping down to the other trial room with Ranbir's help. Ranbir says I love you much and will say it is night if you say. Mihika says Prachi was here. Akshay says Ranbir was here. Pallavi sees Prachi, and says I will ask her why did she do this with me. Dida tries to stop Pallavi. Pallavi comes to the trial room, but Prachi and others have left. Pallavi says I want to make her realize what she has done, broken his heart and made him cried. Dida tries to stop Pallavi. Pallavi says nobody can stop me. Ranbir thinks Akshay and Mihika are doing mad act. He slips and falls down. Salesgirl says sorry. A guy collides with Ranbir. Ranbir asks him to walk carefully. He looks at Prachi. Prachi also looks at him. Divya tells Abhay that everything it is going to be bad, in fact worst. Abhay says even he is feeling the same. Divya says she is talking about Mihika's behavior. Abhay says even Akshay is behaving the same and says I am worried that Prachi and Ranbir have to pay the price for this. Ranbir asks Mihika to show the dress to him which she wanted to show him. He says I will also select dress. Mihika goes. Ranbir looks at Prachi and comes to her, holding the jacket, asks if it is good. Prachi says it is good, and then asks him to ask Mihika. He says you are in front of me. She goes to other side and says I am not in front of you. Ranbir comes and says how cute. She asks if you are calling me cute. He says I am calling these clothes as cute. She says she is not foolish and he was calling her cute. He asks then why do you act if you know, and says when I called you cute then you would have accepted it. He says whatever you want to see and feel, you don't want to accept it. Prachi says what you are saying. He says what you want to feel, you don't want to hear. He takes her to side.